Good evening. I am Joshua Grimes, and this is me presenting my problem or my issue for creative media. My primary issue is that first generation college students tend to have lower graduation retention rates than most, primarily because of the lack of resources that they know that they are eligible to receive, or because of outstanding familial issues, things of that nature. Primarily, myself, I am a first generation college student, so I know all of the grand scheme of the struggles that so many different first generation college students tend to struggle with throughout their collegiate career. Which is why I thought it was really important for me to spotlight the issue itself, to one, bring awareness to it, but also to provide a sound solution that not only myself could benefit from, but I know thousands of other first generation college students could benefit from, to get them to that graduation line where they can get that degree, get that job, but also be the first in their family to achieve this and inspire those behind them to follow along in their footsteps. So, again, primarily the issue is that over 40% of first generation college students tend to attend their freshman year of college. They'll make it maybe through their sophomore year, and then as they approach their junior year or maybe even their beginning of the senior year, they're a lot more privy to drop out. One, because of things like stress, anxiety, potentially not knowing how to handle financial aid after so many years. Maybe they've used up all of their Pell Grant or they used their Hope. Scholarships are running thin. A lot of times students aren't privy to best practices on how to, one, keep those scholarships, or what they're doing when they may be in trouble of potentially losing those scholarships. Things of that nature. One, they're maybe not doing well in their classes, or lastly, they're just not being held accountable for their actions. Alongside of their collegiate career, maybe they're having too much fun with their friends, and they just don't have the mentorship that is needed to help them, one, stay on track, but also to continue to hold them accountable. Whereas where as a second generation student, you may have that parent who's been there and kind of knows the struggles that you go through and can kind of coach you through it. Whereas a first generation student, your parent is there for you. They want to help you succeed, however, they may not know the best way to help you. Whereas creating this program, First Gen Success, a student will come in, they'll be given a mentor or an advisor per se, that will be assigned to the specific student throughout the duration of their entire collegiate career. Thus, they'll create a relationship with the student. They'll know the student. They'll know their ins and their outs, their demographics, their socioeconomic status, and all the ins and outs of the student, their major, what they're interested in, so that they can best help them alongside of their entire collegiate journey. So, for the solution, again, they're going to be assigned this mentor or this advisor. And the sole purpose of this mentor or of this advisor is to get the student from their freshman year to their senior year, however many years that takes. Obviously, ideally, it would be that alleged 4 to 5 year range. However, if it takes more, if it takes less, their job is to get that student to the finish line and to get them that degree, but to also lessen the load of all things that are overwhelming when students attend college. Things like financial aid statuses, being able to register for the following semester, when you should start looking for that job, when you should start applying for internships. That mentor is going to be able to have those connections, because the program itself for First Gen Success will be sponsored by neighboring partners and sponsorships. So maybe like here in Atlanta, Georgia State is surrounded by companies like CNN or Coca-Cola Factory. Other universities also are privy to being surrounded by business-minded companies that are looking for students primarily in fields that they can sponsor. So like if you are maybe a business administration student, and you're at Georgia State, the Coca-Cola Factory may be looking for a student who's in business administration. The purpose of your mentor is to say, hey, Coca-Cola is hiring. They're looking for students in business admin. That's currently your major. Your GPA does meet the requirements. I know that this is potentially a field that you would like to go into. Are you interested? In the event that you say yes, then that mentor is going to, one, forward you the application and the link to apply. Whereas you, the student, you don't have to go looking for this or go and figure out how you can get it, because that mentor, that advisor is going to do that job for you. And that, one, alleviates a lot of stress, but also it is holding that student accountable and making sure that they're on track to, one, not only graduate, but also, this is lining up now, a career path for the student. Alongside of career success, you have things like scholarships, study abroad opportunities. You'll be surrounded by like-minded people that can connect you with students who may be from a similar town as you or maybe in a similar situation as you, because it's always better to go through things with people who kind of have an idea of how you're feeling. Lastly, again, First Gen Success is the name of the program. It's going to be funded, one, by university fees. Most students nowadays, whether you're first, second, third gen, there is a fee that's coming out of your tuition that is primarily for university advisement. And a lot of universities will advertise it as you have free advisement sessions. No, it's just something that you pay upfront alongside of your tuition. First Gen Success would be one of those fees that primarily or only first gen students would pay, so that it's no additional fee out of pocket. Like as months progress or as you get the service, it's something that's included in that tuition. Outside of tuition, neighboring partners and sponsors, as I mentioned before, would be sponsoring the program itself. And then any overflow cash or any overflow funds would go towards things like scholarships, study abroad opportunities, etc. Again, First Gen Success, it's built to help first generation students get to the finish line, and to increase those graduation retention rates of first generation students. To one, ensure that they're, yes, getting their degree, but also it's setting them up for a career, it's setting them up for generational wealth and success. So that way that it's not only the student, but maybe it's inspiring their parents, their guardians, their siblings to go and get their degree. And alongside of them, any other younger people that they have in their lives, they're looking up to them and it's inspiring those individuals as well, to promote generational success for all who are encountered. That is all. Thank you all again for your time. Joshua Grimes, First Gen Success.